Hello. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today I want to talk about something that is confusing to me when it comes down to some dog training. Hey, Oreo, let's get down. And that's the concept of when you're starting to have some issues with your dog, and you're starting to run into that situation that the dog is snapping, the dog is barking, the dog is lunging, the dog looks aggressive towards other dogs. It looks aggressive towards other people. It looks aggressive towards cars. It looks aggressive towards the whole world. It's just at the end of the leash. It's just barking crazy. It's crazy. And then it's crazy because you can see the other person's mind, the facial expressions. You're like, my dog must be looking savage because that person is terrified of my dog. You know, a lot of times we're coming in as a dog trainer and trying to figure out like what's going on here. And a lot of people will say to you, a lot of dog trainers will say, you know, you gotta work on the loose leash walking. You gotta work on the heel. You gotta work on this. You gotta work on that. As opposed to like, well, what's going on with the dog? Why is the dog reacting and responding the way it's responding in the first place? Why are we always so quick to just like let's hide this? The best way I can say it is to mask it. Why are we masking the issues instead of like dealing with the issues, and then we can finally be able to get to a position that we are able to just move forward and don't have to worry about all these tools and these guidelines and these things. That there's some issues going on with the dog that you have to fix the root core issue. But that's something that I just don't see dog trainers talk about. They always come in and say we can do this and do this and do this and do this, but yet we're just not looking at the number one thing that we need to focus on. And what I want to talk about today is that number one thing that we need to focus on. Primarily, I would say more than 99% of our time with our dogs. Not so much of any sort of training, but figuring out the relationship. Your relationship with your dog is how you're going to be able to get to the position to be able to have what it is that you're looking for inside of your home. The relationship is all that matters. The relationship is where you want to start and you want to finish off with your experience with your animals. And for someone to come to me and say to me, hey, you know, my dog should do this and do this and do this without understanding what the animal actually desires itself, I'd say maybe she just didn't have a dog. Maybe she just shouldn't be around animals, because animals aren't here for us to just dictate and force and rule and control. They're not in this planet for us to do such a thing. They're for us to manage them correctly, but not for us to just strip everything about them, to just tell them to do what you want them to do. You just have it in you that you want it to be this one thing, and you didn't get the one to even do that, and you're trying to force it to be such a way. That is the number one way to ruin your relationship with your dog inside of your home. And that's something that the majority of people I'm going to be speaking to is you have a dog inside of your home. Where I have a dog, and this dog stays in the house. She doesn't really like, she's scared of the house. This dog is just scared of everything. She's a fascinating dog to be able to work with. But you're having issues with the dogs in your home. People that have sport dogs and working dogs, you don't have issues because you don't interact with them enough in reality to find and be able to figure out these issues. It's a dog that's inside of your home that it's on your bed and you're telling it to get off your bed, and the dog is showing teeth and growling at you. It's a dog that you got food on your counter and you look away and you look back and the food is gone, and you didn't even see the dog didn't even eat it. He just swallowed it, and you're just like, how did it just disappear? You got all these issues going on outside of your house. You got somebody that's driving past on your front road, and your dog is just going crazy, barking. Doesn't let up for 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes. You got someone that drops a package off, and you got the mail people that even now saying, I'm not even going to drop no packages off to your house because it is wild in there, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. You're running into all these issues with the dog that's living inside of your home, and you're thinking, I need to put a training, I need a this, I need this, I need to create a place stay, as opposed to just the number one thing that you need to work on is relationship. And the number one way to start that relationship is to figure out what that dog is looking for. The dog itself has something that it absolutely has to do. It has a desire inside of it that it has to fulfill. And if it does not fulfill that, it is not gonna ever respect, care about you, appreciate you in any sort of way. I do not care what amount of training you put on that dog. It is always gonna not be as good as it could possibly be if you do not allow that dog to be able to do what it is that it wants to do. Hey, Ora, let's get down. And that thing that dog wants to do is extremely unique and individual to that one animal. You can't just assume that every German Shepherd likes to do this, that every Border Collie likes to do that every Pit Bull likes this. No, they are all extremely individual. Do some and come into, if you have a Shepherd, it may like this because others have liked it. Yeah, you may run into that. But you probably more than likely are not going to stumble upon that one thing that your dog really loves based on what your friend's dog is doing, based on what anyone else's dog is doing. You have to figure that out on your own. And the only way that you're going to be able to start to be able to figure that out is by working on that relationship of being able to get your dog to be able to get into a calm state. If your dog is not in a calm state, there's no communication going on at all. All you're doing is fighting, all you're doing is battling, all you're doing is just in a rampage mode. You're going nowhere. You're butting heads the entire time if your dog is in this extremely high excitable state. You need to get them to be calm. And once you're able to get them to be calm, then you can sit there and look at the animal and just say, hey, what do you want to do? You know, one thing that my German Shepherd really loves to do, that I could fulfill his world and his life, and he just looks at me like I'm the world's greatest thing on the planet, is allow this dog to smell stuff and to pee on it. That's just what he loves. He loves to sniff things out. He loves to be on the search of, I'm going to go find it, and I'm going to find that one. That's the best one. And that completely fulfills that dog. This dog was wild and crazy because no one was allowing him to be able to do what it is that he wanted to do. And all he was trying to explain to every single person that ever handled him was, hey, I got a desire in me to smell, man. I gotta get this out. Where this dog here, this border collie, he's got a desire in him to just herd and hold and push animals around. He's got the desire in him, and he has to do it. It doesn't mean that he exactly needs animals to even do that. He has that desire that you can replicate it with toys, with anything else out there, that he needs to have that outlet so that he could just express himself, be himself, and then he's gonna look at you and say, wow, you're awesome, because you were able to give to me what it is that I need. That's something that I think majority of people are lacking when it comes to your dog. You're thinking that if I do more sit stays or down stays or play stays or sit in your crate, that my dog is gonna like me more. No, your dog, if it doesn't like obedience work, which that's a very, very slim, rare dog that loves to just do heel work, that loves to do stays and loves to do even tricks. That's a rare dog that likes that. When you start to introduce these things to get the dogs to do it over and over and over, it drives them crazy. That's why most dogs, when you teach them like 18 tricks, they are the most complicated dogs to be around, because you bring a treat out and they'll cycle through every single one. That is so stressful for the dog, because he's like, what about this? 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 He's doing everything in his power to like just figure out what you want. And then you're just looking at him like, that's not the one, that's not the one, that's not the one, that's not the one. Imagine how frustrating that would be to your own self if that was what was going on with you. That you came to work and you just worked, and you did the best that you could to come to the end of that week and realize you just didn't get paid. And you're not even sure what you're going to get paid for. You're not even sure what the expectations are. So you just try everything that you can, everything back to back to back to back to back. And then in the end, you're just like, you still don't get it, because now we're actually trying to do something new. How frustrating would that be? And that's how your dogs are, frustrated. They don't have any sort of respect for you. They don't have any sort of trust for you. And they just you have no relationship built with them for them to be able to want to even trust you and be around you. And that's something that we as people with dog owners, as animal owners, need to understand that first. That the animal is looking for something, it's desiring something. It has a passion to have to do something. And it's for us as a human, as a leader, as a guardian, as a guider, to get that dog, get that animal to express and be able to do that. And then after we give to them, then they will give back to us. It doesn't work the other way around. And this concept works in relationships with everything in reality. You know, I just love getting my inspiration from reading my Bible, understanding exactly about relationships. Relationships in that Bible that it's talking about, it works the same with animals, works the same with people, works the same with children, works the same with trying to grow some trees. It's relationships that we're struggling with, and the main reason that we're struggling with relationships is because we're sitting here looking for a way that I want them to do for me first, and then I want them to do for me first, and then I'll appreciate them. As opposed to you putting yourself out there to figure out, how can I help somebody? How can I help you? How can I get you to get in a better place? How can I get you to express yourself and be yourself, complete yourself? And then once you're able to do that, then not even in the expectations that they're going to give back to you, but just hope that and just have wishful thinking that they will. And that's something that is an amazing thing. With people, it's kind of wishy-washy. We're not sure. We can give. But we got people out there that are just, you could give and they will still ruthlessly just stomp on you. But there's a fascinating thing about these dogs, that you're not going to run into that, because the dog wants to do everything for us. But it starts with us to help them first, and then they will do anything for us. I mean, anything. In any situation, in any scenario, your dog will do, it will go to death for you, to protect you, to save you, it will sacrifice itself for you once you're able to just get it to understand that you could fulfill its needs. And it starts with us doing that first. I'm telling you, worrying about all these tricks and these things. I call a sit, it's a trick. A down is a trick. Place is a trick. Heel is a trick. They're all tricks. And there's things that the dogs not all 100% really care for. There's a very rare dog that likes stuff like that. There's a very rare dog that likes to do what this border collie does. Every single one of my dogs, this is why I love, it's just a weird thing with me. I love me some dogs. And I could have 50 dogs, because each one is so different that I could do different stuff with each one and start to figure out what each one is actually looking for. And it's a fascinating thing, because once I'm able to get into that dog's brain of realizing, oh, you like to sniff stuff and I'll let you do that, that dog, it's just, we have an aha moment where it's just like, boom, bang, like, buddy, I will do anything for you at this point. That's what we start with. We don't start with getting a dog to sit. We don't start with getting a dog to walk on a leash. We start, he's so cute, man. You good. Oreo, get down. You so cute, man. Oreo, get down. We start with building the relationship to make sure that we are getting into the dog's brain to be able to fulfill their life. If we're not fulfilling their life, that's when you start to see those behaviors inside of your household where things just start to go crazy, where the dog is just pacing, dog is moving, dog is going, dog is just doing the most. And it's doing the most, frustrating you, because it's frustrating you in a way of being able to get you to move. It's like, hey, buddy, I got to do something. I want to do something. And it's just, they're begging for us to get this energy out of them. They have this excessive, it's just building, and then they go to sleep. Some of y'all, your dogs at the end of the night, I see the videos. They got the zoomies, man. They running, because they have this, they got to let it out. And if you don't help them let it out, they'll let it out for themselves and they'll figure it out. But after a while, they realize that they can't do it on their own. They need someone, they need a human being to be able to come to them, to be able to guide them, to be able to get them through this stuff that's going inside of them. You can't drug them. You can't do any of that. You can't even run them enough. Some dogs that really love running, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough energy, you don't have enough patience to outrun a dog that can run 50, 60, 70, 80 miles with no problem. You need to add something more in there that dog is desiring. And that's the main thing. That's what our goal is as a dog owner, as a responsible person that is gonna have a dog. We're gonna bring this into our household. It's a responsible thing for us to figure out what that animal needs. It's not giving it food, it's not giving it water, it's not giving it a house, it's not giving it hugs and kisses, it's not any of that. Does some of that matter? Yeah, but in reality, a dog they're beasts, they're amazing. They can live outdoors without any of that. They'll figure all that out on their own. What they need from us as humans is for us to be able to relieve the anxiety that they have, the stresses that they have, the passions they have, the creativeness that they want to be able to put out there to have. Is for us to look at it and say, I need to do something for you to help you, to guide you, to get you to get through these things that are going on with you. And then we're able to move on to, okay, now let's do something next. And that's something that has been very, very interesting to me. Why for the first year of me trying to put myself for hire to help people with dogs, I'm coming in with different language than anyone else is speaking about. Then the second year I realized why so many people want to work with me, because I come in with different language. I'm not coming in with let's put this leash on and force your dog to this and force your dog to that and force your dog. No, I'm not going to force your dog to do a single thing it doesn't want to do. And that may sound messed up because someone say, oh, I want my dog needs to listen to me. And it's like, it doesn't need to nothing. It wants to listen to you if it's getting the respect from you for it to want to listen to you. I instantly will fire myself if someone's like, put that pressure on to force that dog to pay attention to me. That's not the way this works. You're not going to have a calm, successful relationship with that animal if you're thinking you're going to come in with force to force that dog to listen to you. It doesn't work that way. Some dogs will shut down to the point that it looks like you're getting results, you're getting things good, but the dog, at the end of the day, when you make it naked, you don't put no leash on it, you don't put no collar on it, there's nothing on them, it's not going to listen to you. It's going to run away. It's going to do everything to avoid you. And I would never, ever, ever put myself for hire to be in a position, to be in a situation, to have a dog be like that. My number one mission on helping you with your animal is to build that relationship so that your dog appreciates and it actually respects you. Because it starts with us giving them respect. And I'm going to teach you how to be able to get respect. And the number one way to be able to get respect is to figure out what your dog is looking for. Your dog has a desire inside of it. Some dogs love to chase. Like this girl, she loves to chase. Put a flirt pole. I don't even need to put an item at the end of it. I could just whip it around and this girl will just get the moving. 10 minutes of that a day, she's satisfied. She's like, thank you, man. We're good to go. Every single morning and every single evening with these two boys right here. They love to chase these chickens. They love to move them. They love to get them in little places. They love to put them back in the chicken coop, and they're not in the chicken coop anymore. We do what we do. But at night, or especially in the morning, I feed in the coop. They all got to get back in the coop. If they're not in the coop, they put them back in the coop. That is 30, 40, 50 minutes every single day that we're out here doing work like that, and it fulfills them. He says, thank you, man. Thank you. I'll do anything you want. That's why this dude right here, he's sitting in the downstate. This dude will stay in the downstate. It don't matter what the heck's going on, because he knows that he's going to be able to get what it is he wants in the end, not what I want. What I want is for him to do this, but it didn't start that way. It started the way with me giving him what he wanted at first. This dog has always been a challenge for me because I came at him the way that I learned dog training. Put that leash on, put that collar on. Oh, he's not listening, put that prong collar on. Oh, you want to be able to be off leash and still want control? Put that e-collar on him and he'll pay attention to you. Does this dog listen better to me with an e-collar today? No, actually. He kind of gives me even more pushback because he's looking at me like, dude, don't you trust me? Like, we're good, right? Everything's good. Why are you doing this? And why are you forcing this? And I'm like, I'm sorry, because that's the way we started. But now he'll do anything and everything I ask of him, because he knows he's going to be able to do what he wants to do later on. And or we've already done it this morning in reality. He already knows it's going to come. It's going to happen. I'm going to be able to fulfill that desire inside of him. And that's what gives the dog to do what you want them to do. You do not need to train a downstay. You don't need to train a sit stay. They will automatically do it for you when your relationship is good. They will know, hey, let me just hang out. Let me just chill. They will automatically do that. You don't need, there's no training involved with that. How long does it take you to teach a dog to sit? You grab a treat, you put it in his face, you get him, he sits, and it's done. It's done. In 10 seconds, the dog knows it. Now, will it stay in that position when you tell him and ask him to stay in that position? That's a matter of where your relationship is at. If your relationship is really good, he'll stay in that for years and years and years in reality. You never have to worry about it. But if your relationship is no good, you need that treat to keep giving it back to him, giving it back to him. You need that leash to keep putting them back in it, putting them back in it, putting them back in it. You need those tools. And that's the main thing that I want to get more and more people away from is tools. The number one day I walk in to help you with your dog, I don't want the tool to be there forever. The leash is to teach so that we can get off leash as fast as absolute possible. The leash is there just to teach. It's not there to restrict and to hold and to make them need that forever. It's there as something to guide the dog, not something that the dog should always be needing. And that's something that we should be doing as a dog trainer, is getting dogs to understand that that's that bridge, that I don't speak dog, but my leash sure does be able to speak it, because I'm able to guide them from what's right and what's wrong and what I'm looking for and what I'm not looking for. And then I'm able to give them that freedom of doing what it is that they want to do. That's the number one goal that a dog trainer should be showing to you and guiding you. And a lot of that is stuff that we just have to test and challenge our own selves at home. Go to the Tractor Supply, get you a whip and put a little toy at the end of it and throw it around and see if your dog chases it. If your dog chases that, I'm telling you, 10 minutes a day of that, and you're going to watch your dog change. You're going to watch your dog change in days. It's not going to take months, years, and days. You're going to watch your dog change. You're going to watch your dog get so excited and so just turned on and want to work with you and be around you, because you're giving the dog what it's looking for. You got a dog that just loves to chase some animals. You get you a ball on a rope and you throw that thing. You let that dog go get it. And some of these dogs, they get a little confused. So you gotta help them out. When it stops, some dogs don't want to bring it back. So you teach them what we're doing here. You get two of them and you throw one and you got one in your hand. He goes, gets it, he comes back and you throw it. And he's like, oh, that's what we're doing. They learn in days to figure this out and they'll master it. And they'll be able to get that art of chase. They'll go chase it, do what they got to do, and then you get better with it. You would do downstays with it when they're chasing, and your dog is going to be like, oh man, thank you for giving me this. Thank you for doing this. Your dog just loves to sniff some stuff out. Let them sniff. I don't understand what's going on with the whole concept of the dog trainers that are out here to tell you to never let your dog sniff anything and keep him in this perfect heel the whole time. You're not allowing your dog to be a dog. Your dog wants to sniff. Your dog needs to sniff. Your dog has a burning desire inside of it to sniff. It has to. It absolutely has to. Do not ever restrict them from doing such a thing. That's the number one way I'm going to tell you is you're ruining your relationship, is not allowing your dog to smell things. That your dog's brain is consisted of more than 80% of just its nose and smelling. The dogs live this world through smelling. We live our world through multiple senses, but they primarily live this world through smelling. Smelling is how they're able to get around, and smelling is what they absolutely have to do. They have to do that. You're restricting your dog from smelling, you're just beating yourself up. You're not going anywhere. You're not making anything happen. And if they love to smell, you train around that smell. You let them know, hey, you wait for me, and then I'll let you smell. And then you wait for me, and I'll let you smell. And your dog is gonna love you. It's just gonna do everything. Giving them more treats, giving them more pets, giving them more praise, holding them, coddling them. That's not what's gonna get your dog to love you. Giving them that direction that they're begging for. That's what's gonna get your dog to love you. And with that, man, there's something about these dogs that is very, really fascinating. It's so fascinating that it really gets me crazy inspired to want to just continue to keep on talking about them, because they're an unlimitedness of what they're all about. They're very interesting, and I'm a very, very firm believer that every single, not only just dog, but animal comes to us for a reason. Every single one. A lot of today we working more today, and I'm happy to see. People got pigs now, people got goats, people got chickens, people starting to get more and more things around. And I believe that they all come to us for a reason. And a lot of times we should really watch and study that animal so that we can learn more about ourselves. And that's something that I just have I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna say it straight up the way that I see it. If you cannot have a good relationship with a dog, there's no way you can have a good relationship with a person, because you're looking at the world backwards. You're looking at the world of how can I get what I need, and then it'll be good, as opposed to how can I give and then it'll be good. The only way that you're going to have a good dog is by giving them what they need, and it starts first with you giving. You're not going to get a good dog and just be nice to you and be nice for you. No, you have to give. And that's one way that I know that dogs are an amazing tool to help us as human beings to be a better human on this planet. Because there's some things that we have to work on. And that dog in your home is constantly pushing you and driving you. And if it's driving you insane, because it's saying that there's some things that you need to work on with yourself so that you can finally get to that next stage and that next step of life. Because for me, I do know, I was worried about, I need you to do this for me. I need you to sit in this stay for me. And you better do it because I'm telling you to do it. And I would be struggling all the time. I would be every 2 seconds like, Johnny down, Johnny down, Johnny down. I'd be every 2 seconds just all on it, as opposed to just realizing today of he'll do it because in about 10 seconds after I say goodbye, we're about to go ahead and play with some chickens out here for a little bit, and he's gonna be allowed to be a dog. And that's one thing that dogs really want from us, is to allow them to be what they are, dogs. Thank you. You good, Johnny?